furious eyes. Bella, stop this right now. My muscles locked into place, froze me where I stood, because it wasn't Jessica's voice that rebuked me now. It was a furious voice, a familiar voice, a beautiful voice, soft like velvet even though it was irate. It was his voice.
And from that point on, when because she continues walking towards them.
Just to hear his voice.
She's trying to recreate that scene where Edward first saves her. And it's solely so that she could hear.
Because inwardly she knows that no matter what, if she was in danger, if he's around, he's going to be there. If he's around, he's going to step in and stop it and not let her do something stupid. And she goes further, and he goes, go back to Jessica, the lovely voice ordered, still angry. You promised nothing stupid. And it says, I was alone. And she just, like, she doesn't know. Option 1, I was crazy. That was the layman's term for people who heard voices in their head. Possible. Option 2, my subconscious mind was giving me what it thought I wanted. This was wish fulfillment, a momentary relief from pain by embracing the incorrect idea that he cared whether or not I lived or died. Projecting what he said, projecting what he would have said if A, he were here, and B, if he would be in any way bothered by something bad happening to me. Possible. I could see no option 3, so I hoped it was the second option. So she hopes she's not completely nuts, and that this is just her subconscious who was trying to help her. Right, because your subconscious is always trying to help you.
Which it is.
Yes, exactly. So she goes further, and then he says again, Bella, turn around. And she's like on a high from the sound of his voice. She's just like, she can feel her heart in her chest again.
Right, because she feels there was this hole inside of her chest.
Yes, exactly.
There was like nothing there.
Exactly. And she realizes it's not the same people. And one of them says, can I help you with something? You look lost. And she's like, no, I'm not lost. And then, can I buy you a drink, he offered? And she says, no, I'm too young. And she said, I'm sorry, from across the street, you look like someone I knew. Sorry, my mistake. And they're fine, they're friendly. And then she goes to meet up with Jessica, and Jessica's like really angry with her, because Jessica was like, what are you doing, Bella? You can't go over to those strange guys. What's the matter with you?
I think Jessica kind of overreacts.
Jessica was freaking out.
But it's kind of a necessary thing that she overreacts the way she does, because it kind of gives Bella the perspective later on as to who her real friends are, like how Angela, like after all is said and done, Angela was the one who was like, oh no, I understand, I'm still your friend. Yes. You know, and Jessica wasn't, which just goes to show, especially because, like, I read that, you know, like, when you read, like, Midnight Sun, you were saying, like, you really find out, like, how nasty Jessica is.
Yeah, I really get it.
And I haven't, that's what I have to do. I have to read Midnight Sun, because you told me to read it after
all the books, it's chapters 1 to 12, but there's an extra chapter that's not in Twilight and Midnight Sun. So it's not really to chapter 12 of Twilight, it's to chapter 12. Right? I don't know. But there's an extra, it's not, because like all the chapters are the same, but there's one chapter in there thrown into Midnight Sun where it's just,
because it's from his perspective.
So it's something he went off and did on his own, yes. So to end chapter 4 here, Jessica drops her off, and Jessica like doesn't even want to like talk to her. Like she's like,
fuming.
All right, bye, Jess. And she's like, yeah, whatever, you know. And she comes in and tells her dad that she hung out with Jessica, and you know that was fine. And I'm just trying to see. It says, I lay in bed for a few minutes later, resigned as the pain finally made its appearance. It was a crippling thing, the sensation that a huge hole had been punched through my chest, exercising my most vital organs and leaving ragged, unhealed gashes around the edges that continued to throb and bleed despite the passage of time. Rationally, I knew my lungs must still be intact, yet I gasped for air and my head spun like my efforts yielded me nothing. My heart must have been beating too, but I couldn't hear the sound of my pulse in my ears. My hands felt blue with cold. I crawled inward, hugging my ribs to hold myself together. I scrambled from my numbness, my denial, but it evaded me. And yet I found I could survive. I was alert. I felt the pain, the aching loss that radiated out from my chest, sending racking waves of hurt through my limbs and head, but it was manageable. I could live through it. I didn't feel like the pain had weakened over time, rather than I had grown strong enough to bear it. whatever it was that happened tonight, and whether it was the zombies, the adrenaline, or the hallucinations that were responsible, it had woken me up. For the first time in a long time, I didn't know what to expect in the morning.
And I thought that was great because that whole time thing, you know, the October, November, December,
January.
that's the time that she was numb.
Yeah.
Where she didn't feel anything. And that,
she couldn't, because if she would,
right,
she would have gone nuts.
Which is why she related so well to the zombies. And then after hearing his voice, knowing that he was still a part of her, yes, on the inside, even though he was, yeah, nowhere on the outside. Yeah, right, because the pictures were gone, the CD was gone, yeah, he was gone. So even though he wasn't there on the outside, knowing that he was still there on the inside, and that everything he had said in the woods wasn't true, she couldn't get back to that numb spot.
Now, I don't know about you, but I will tell you all, I have very gladly found my own little Edward and had him for 7 years now, and I love him to death. And if anything, just not even this circumstance, but like, God forbid, if he got hurt in a car accident and died or something, I don't know.
Such pleasant thoughts.
But I don't know what,
I know.
It just like, this makes me, I relate to this really well, because I wouldn't deal. How would I deal? I would deal exactly as she deals. Exactly, and I know it. I just know I would.
Only I wouldn't abandon you if you
if
went.
I got a little mad and bitch, like if I was a little pissy and just like to myself, you wouldn't abandon me.
No, I wouldn't abandon you. I'd be like Angela.
Aw, thank you. No, you'd be Alice. You're like the super best friend.
Yeah, except for the fact that I can't see into the future.
Well, I wish you could tell me the ladder tomorrow. That'd be
stupid. Dude, if I